A massive challenge. We all see where they are in the standings, despite some of the injuries they have. Just maybe give us a thought on the quality of the opponent and what makes them so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it when we went there and we played them. It was a heck of a game. But I think just the quality of opponent, you have some players over there that are elite and some of the best in the league, obviously. And I think just overall, I think they have a ton of depth on, both forward and D, and they're just an extremely well-rounded team, and it shows in the standings.
What effect does it have on your group to have the success that you've had at home? Like, how does that manifest itself tonight when you got an opponent like this rolling into your building, but you've been so good here?
Yeah, no, we want to make this place a hard place to play. I think, especially come playoff time, the good teams don't lose much at home. So for us, we take pride in this building and the fans and making it a hard place for the other team to play. And obviously, we had a really good road trip, so we want to continue, our streak here and just keep building.
Hey, Zach, just over here.
Hey.
Evan Bouchard had his best game probably in the NHL the other night. What have you seen in his development from when you got here to now? How have you seen his growth?
Yeah, I think just, confidence. I think he was playing really confident. When he's confident with the puck, he's able to make a ton of plays. He's a great passer, and obviously you saw it with the shot. He's got a big shot back there. So just seeing his confidence grow has been awesome. And I think for any young player, you go through ups and downs in a season. And I think that you're seeing the best version of Bouch, and when when he plays like that, he's a game changer.
When you come into the league as an offensive defenseman, people say that you come in as an offensive defenseman, but to stay here, you got to be you have to play in your own end. Do you see that evolution as well? Is he getting better in his own end, and that's kind of opening up things offensively for him?
For sure. I mean, if you're an offensive defenseman, you get hemmed in your own end. There's not much good to it, right? So I think for him, just I think he's holding lines well. I think he's playing more physically and he's breaking the puck out well. He's a great passer, like I said. So he's able to break out the puck and get the puck into the forward's hands and then transition and then join the rush and use his offensive instinct. So I think that he's a great player and he's only going to get better as he continues to mature as a player.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
6 wins in a row, but even when you're winning, there's obviously always times the other team might carry the play. What do you think you guys have been doing or have allowed you to sort of, limit the damage or survive times of the game when the other team might have a bit of a territorial advantage?
Sure. Hockey's a game of momentum. There's different shifts in the game and being able to kind of, bend but not break is really important. I think, for us, just when things aren't going our way, just, getting back to our system and just, allowing chances from the outside, I would say. And I think, of late, we've been finding ways to win, maybe games that we shouldn't necessarily win or games that we wouldn't have won early on in the season. We're finding ways to win close games, 2-1 games, 6-1 games, whatever the case may be. I think that as a good team, even when you're not at your best, if you're able to find ways to win, that makes you a great team. And I think of late, we've been able to do that.
And I just want to flash back to the end of the last game in the final 30 seconds. When you get the puck down low, did you have to fight your instincts to take it to the net and get a shot because the puck run some time off?
No. Well, I mean, there's no sense. 30 seconds left in the game. I think I'm, the three of us who are on the ice are pretty good holding the puck and being able to kind of milk some clock. Just if you're able to hold it on the wall, it's like in the NFL when a guy can go in for a touchdown, he just kneels it on the 2 or whatever, right? So you can kind of try to end the game and finish it off there.
Zach, you mentioned that Colorado game about 3 weeks ago, and I wonder how much or what you take from that game, given, you didn't have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Derek Brassard, Brett Kulak in the lineup that game. How much different, how much do you go back to that game?
Yeah, I think if it's anything like the last game, it's going to be high pace, high intensity. It was, it felt like a playoff game. And obviously it's nice to have a bunch of guys who are in our lineup now that weren't in when we played them last. So it's exciting. I think it's a great test for us. They're a great team, and we've been playing really well of late, so we're excited about it.
How much did you find, you're missing that one game with Leon there. How much did you find that the dynamic of your line changed without him and with him? What was kind of the subtleties that he missed and that you guys as wingers could kind of add to that line?
Yeah, that game just in general, I don't think it was probably it wasn't our best game of the season just as a group, obviously, but we were able to find a way to win. But Leon's an irreplaceable part of our team. He's a 50-goal scorer. Plays in all situations and just, does everything the right way and, on the face-offs also, right? So he just impacts all different types of the game, and he's an extremely important player for us.
Zach, Michigan alum, were you, before the game on Thursday, were you watching that game going overtime at all?
You told me they're going to win 5-2.
I'm often wrong, as many of you guys know.
You told me, you guaranteed it.
But just a thought on what that, they've won the most national champions, what that program meant to you specifically.
Yeah.
Trajectory and progression.
No, I caught the end of it, the overtime, which was, heartbreaking, obviously, for those guys. But anytime you're in a one-game elimination, that happens, right? They had an incredible team, incredible players who are now signing to go, play pro, and I'm sure there'll be, some superstars coming up in this league that'll be from that team. But just for me personally, the University of Michigan, my 4 years there had a massive impact on my career. And as a person, as a player, I wouldn't be who I am without those 4 years. Red Berenson was there. He's now since retired, but just a huge part of my hockey career. Brian Wiseman, who's now a coach here, was a coach there as well. And worked with him on kind of the skills stuff. So just 4 years that really helped me become an NHL player.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
There was forward Zach Hyman as the Oilers are riding a high heading into Hockey Night in Canada against the league's best team, the Colorado Avalanche, who are on a high of their own, winners of 5 straight in their own right, including a 5-4 overtime win last night in Winnipeg. So tonight marks the second half of a back-to-back for the visitors, and who else but Cale Makar, Mikko Rantanen, and Nathan MacKinnon combining for the winner in the extra frame last night. But back to the Oilers, they look for their 10th consecutive win on home ice, which has set a new franchise record, and they will go with Mikko Koskinen between the pipes. We already heard from Zach Hyman. We'll also hear from defenseman Duncan Keith and head coach Jay Woodcroft in just a few moments. This is the Oilers TV live pregame show.
Duncan, how you doing? I wanted to ask you about Evan Bouchard and his development. Obviously, been a big part of that and mentoring him. What have you seen him from the start of the season to now?
Well, he's done a lot of good things. He's got a great shot. Obviously, that gets talked about a lot, but just the way he sees the plays develop, I think, especially offensively, he can move the puck really well, and he's a smart player. So it makes my job a lot easier playing with him too.
What kind of advice have you given him, or what kind of help have you given him along the way in trying to kind of help his game?
I don't know. Maybe that's a better question for him, but I think just in general, we try to communicate a lot about the defensive side of things, whether that's getting back for pucks or having a good gap, and just focusing on things, to predictability in the defensive side of things. And I think with his offensive ability, it can kind of come from being good defensively.
Obviously, is that the key for a young defenseman? A lot of young offensive defensemen come in here, and people know his offensive game, but to stay here and be effective, you have to be good in your own zone. Is that correct? Is that what kind of he has to work on, and that's what he has to develop to be able to become that offensive guy?
Well, I think we all do, not just him, but it's just continuing to develop good habits and that predictability on the defensive side of things. So, he seems like he just keeps getting better and better.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Duncan, 6 wins in a row for you guys, but, there's always times in those games where the other team has a push or maybe a little bit of control. What has allowed you guys, do you think, to sort of limit the damage when the other team might be having a bit of a territorial or shot advantage?
Well, I think the first thing would be, getting some big saves from our goaltenders. And then just relying on our structure defensively, whether that's back pressure or being in good positioning, communicating out on the ice in the defensive zone. Yeah, I think, you know, like you said, there's lots of good teams, good players. They're going to get some chances, just trying to limit those and then weathering the storm when we can.
When you see a younger defenseman like Cale Makar who can skate like that, put up the points that he can, I mean, what do you think of him and some of the other younger generation of D-men you've seen coming in the last 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, they're fun to watch. They can do a lot of different things out there. You know, they're all special players in their own right, and definitely we need to be aware when he's on the ice, especially tonight.
Duncan, what did that Colorado game a few weeks back mean to you guys? And obviously it was an overtime loss, but you played them extremely tough. What did that game mean, and how does it maybe help you going into this one?
It's a good challenge. They always they got a lot of firepower there, so it's a good test for us. It was a good test a few weeks back in their building, and ended up losing in overtime. But yeah, it's just you know, they're one of the top teams in the league for a reason. So we got our work cut out for us.
You have a few new bodies compared to that game. Like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is now back, and the two guys from the deadline. But did you find that you learned something about yourselves in that game that you've been able to take forward here?
Yeah, I think that when we play with good structure and within our system, within ourselves out there, it gives us a chance to win with whoever's in the lineup. And certainly getting those guys back adds to our team and our power up front or on defense, whoever's coming back in the lineup.
Go on that road trip, and I think you were maybe 4 goals against in 3 games or something there. Just defensively as a group, to go on a road trip like that and have those sorts of results defensively, how much does that mean this late in the season when that really becomes the backbone?
Yeah, it's a positive step for sure. But I think every game's different. You know, I think we gave up 5 against St. Louis before we head out on that road trip. So we wanted to shore that up a little bit, and then we had a good game against Anaheim and kept the ball rolling from there. But tonight's a new test and different game tonight.
You guys have been dominant on home ice, and I don't know if that resonates in there. The way you feel when you're playing games here right now, is it different than it would have been a couple of months ago? Like you're just rattling off win after win here.
Yeah, I think just finding ways to win in different ways. You know, it's not always going to be pretty, which it hasn't. So I think that's a good sign for our team, being able to find ways to win, especially at this time of year. But you know, I don't think we're looking at games like we've been dominating teams. There's been lots of areas where we need to improve, and you know, I think this road trip was a good step. But like I said, this game tonight will be another test for us. Thanks.
Real good game. I know you came out on the wrong end of it, but do you feel like that game brought something out in the group? And you know, what do you need to make sure is there tonight?
Well, all you got to do is look at the NHL standings for motivation for tonight's game. I thought that game in Colorado was two teams that pushed each other to the brink in that game. They scored 2 power play goals. We found a way to find some offense, but we did a lot of good things in the game. But that was a few weeks ago, and our focus and concentration here is on this team that's coming in that has won 5 in a row.
The stats would say you guys have been one of the better teams, if not a high-end team in the NHL here for some time. Do you think your group feels that way about itself? Does their confidence match what the stats show over the last few months, do you think?
Well, I would say that our players have put the work in to feel confident. That confidence is a feeling that you earn through hard work. Now, saying that, I think we're a humble group. We're not putting too much emphasis on things that have happened before. They're beyond anyone's control. They've already happened. Our focus and attention is trying to improve a little bit each day, and having that mindset, I think, and being humble serves individuals and serves teams well.
Jay, I just wanted to ask you about Evan Bouchard and kind of his development, and from what you saw when he was with you in Bakersfield to now, I guess, what has been that kind of learning curve for him?
Yeah, I think having that level of experience with Evan, I've seen his game progress here over the last few years. He, when he first got down to Bakersfield, he actually came into a playoff series, and we really didn't know where we were going to use him or how he would fit in the group down there. We went with 7D when he was first introduced to the lineup, and I think he had an immediate impact, put up some goals in that series, and by the end of that playoff run was commanding large minutes. I think right from day one, we've seen that he's someone who can make a first pass. He's somebody that gets his shot through from the point. The top players always want to play with him because he puts it on their tape. Those are all on the offensive side of things. I think he's put a lot of work in here over the last couple of months on trying to work on the defensive details in his game, and we're seeing some improvement there as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of junior guys that are offensive guys in junior, and they come to the NHL, and to stay in the NHL, they got to be able to play in their own end. I guess, is that the key, and is that the message you got to get to these young guys that are offensive guys? They know what to do when they have the puck, but it's a matter of what to do when you don't have the puck. Yeah,
and I would say that probably Bouch as a junior was in the elite category of puck movers and offensive defensemen. I think the better that you can defend in the National Hockey League, it leads to trust from the coaching staff, so the more minutes you're going to play. I think Bouch has done a really good job of playing towards his strengths, and he's addressed other areas in his game, and we see improvement there.
And how invaluable has it been that you get a chance to play with Duncan Keith, and you can say, well, learn from him. This is a guy who's going to probably end up in the Hall of Fame.
Invaluable.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off that, I think they had played together a little bit before your arrival, but not a ton. What did you see in that pairing that caused you to want to maybe give it a longer try?
Exactly what everybody sees. Some, has won Norris trophies, has been part of gold medal championship teams at the Olympics, Stanley Cup champion, somebody who can impart experiences to a younger D-man, but it's not just pairing a young player with an older player. It's about trying to find complementary skill sets, and I think they have a good shorthand with each other, and it's been a good pair for us.
In what ways does Duncan complement Evan?
Well, I think I actually think just the communication part of things does help him. Duncan's not a wallflower. He's not going to just sit in the background and not let his opinion be heard. He almost serves as a conduit of the coaching staff on the back end, because he has opinions, he has experiences, and I think that helps Bouch. I think on the offensive blue line, they do things that complement each other. I think on retrievals, just their communication helps each other. I think they make a lot of really good plays, so it's a good pair for us.
And just, we talked about going back to that Colorado game a few weeks back, and I'm sure the progression since then hasn't been completely linear, but is there a way or two that you felt the team has grown since then, and that's helped, in a way that's, helped your team have success here?
Well, I think, as I said to Ryan, we're trying to get a little bit better each day. We pick different themes as we work our way through the schedule. We've played some pretty good hockey since that game, but there's also been growing moments, and sometimes those growing moments help set you up for future success if handled correctly. And I'd just be very complimentary of our players that we took our medicine some nights, but we got better because of it. Good, thanks guys.